see, here's what annoys me. When people just talk about things they just don't understand. Alright guys, my name is Shinigami X, for those who don't know, my new subscribers. Alright, what I'm going to be talking to you about today is basically something that's been annoying me for a little while. AOXV said it in his video, Shokyo said it in his video, but it seems like people are just not getting the message. So I'm going to break it down in a way that maybe you can understand it. Alright, people, I am sick and tired of people talking about things they just don't understand. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about people mouthing off about the PlayStation 4 and its specs. Oh, it's got 8 GB of RAM. It's got 8 GB of RAM. Oh, it's only lied to us because not all 8 GB of RAM are dedicated to gaming. Who gives a damn? Listen. Let me break something down for you. For those of you who don't know much about the gaming industry and how, like, you know, software and hardware work together. Okay, look at it this way. When you buy a new phone, okay, and they tell you that, oh yeah, the phone has you know, a 16 gigabytes internal storage. Okay, you think to yourself, okay, yeah, that's cool. When you turn on the phone now and you look into, like, you know, all the specs of the phone, because it lists them all for you inside the phone. Do you notice something? It doesn't say 16 gigs of available memory. It tells you something like 14.8 or something, because some of that memory needs to be used to make the system operate. And the same thing applies for the PS4 and the Xbox One. So of course not all 8 gigabytes of RAM are going to be dedicated towards gaming. Of course some of them are going to be dedicated towards operating system. And here's another thing for you, which people need to understand, is that, okay, when a developer makes a game, we are not at the stage in, like, you know, game development where a developer can use all 8 gigabytes of RAM in one game. Like the PS4, even with the PS3, which had like less than 16, had like 16 times less RAM than the PS4 is going to have, developers didn't even max it out. They didn't even use all of it. Okay, now with these next generation of games, developers are going to be able to use about maybe 3.5 gigabytes of RAM at most. That's at best. That's when they're completely used to the system. So you'll be able to use that at best. And you guys should be thankful that, you know, they can't, you know, use all 8 gigabytes of RAM. Because if they could use all 8 gigabytes of RAM, what would that mean for you as a gamer? It means you'd be getting a second-rated product. What I mean by that is that you'll get sloppy coding. The UI won't be as great. When I'm talking about UI, for those of you who don't understand abbreviations, it's called user interface. So you get sloppy UI, you get sloppy AI. AI being the CPU, the things that you fight against, it depends on what game you're playing. You get sloppy AI, you get sloppy UI. The game will be patchy, you have glitches all over the place. When a game has glitches, it's because the scripting was wrong. It's because the scripting and the coding was done poorly. Like, time wasn't dedicated and put into it. But when a developer has 8 gigabytes of RAM to mess with, they're like, okay, yeah, I could afford to not type the loose NTM because I'm not restricted, I'm not limited to my space. I can basically be as free as I want. So no, it's better that they have restrictions so that they can only use a maximum of, I don't know, what is it, 4.5 gigabytes of RAM for the PS4? Even that is an extreme amount. A PC gamers, you guys know this because you guys are more up to date with specs than most console gamers who just do consoles. So you guys understand what I'm talking about. Your games, your biggest MMOs for example, they don't even use 3 gigabytes of RAM. They just about use 3. So then you have, on the PS4 now, you have 4.5 dedicated to just gaming. Not the operating system, just gaming. You get me? It's just gaming. Alright, and we all know that, okay, PC gaming is great. PC gaming is great, you can't lie, it's got its advantages such as Steam and whatnot. But when you're talking about a console is a machine that is dedicated for, say it with me now, just gaming. Say it with me one more time, just gaming. You see what I'm saying? It's dedicated for just gaming, so therefore, and if you got another thing you got to remember as well, that the PS4 isn't just normal RAM. It's using GDDR5. And for those of you who don't know what GDDR5 is, like, you think I'm just talking about random abbreviations, like, no, it's super fast RAM, specifically for graphics in fact. So not only can you get better textures, as you can see with the next generation of consoles, it is super fast. So considering that in mind, this special RAM that we're now using for the PS4, developers might even use less than 3 gigabytes of RAM. They might even be stuck on, like, you know, 2, because they just can't use all of that because we haven't developed that far yet. So having all this RAM in abundance is good. That means you can basically, when you're online, you're gonna have less lag time and whatnot. That's what it means by having so much gigabytes of RAM. That's why Sony and Microsoft and the Xbox One, they gave us so much RAM. Because when we're online now, didn't it used to annoy you when you used to get so much lag? Now you ain't gonna be getting that lag, homie. So what are you complaining for? Why are you crying? I'm not even gonna curse in this video, so why are you crying? There's no need. So now you understand what RAM is, maybe now you stop complaining. And Shokyo and AOXVTV explained this perfectly. So I don't know why people are still like complaining in their comment section, still complaining on forum sites. Like, come on now, drop it. Like, you've got more than enough RAM in abundance to give you a next gen game, an experience that you've never had before, and better. And you know, maybe in the near future we'll be able to use all 8 gigabytes of RAM, or the 4.5 that is dedicated to gaming. But just like I explained for you before, the analogy that I gave, no matter what device you get that comes with internal storage, when it says you 16 gig or 32 gig or 64 gig or 8 gig, it's never all the 8 gig that you have. You have like 70% of what they say is on the box. And the reason for that is because the digital piece of technology that you need to use has to have an operating system to run on. Otherwise, you can't use it. Common sense should tell you that, guys. Like, come on, man. Yo, that's enough of my rant for this video today, guys. Hope you guys get the message. I'm tired of people talking about specs. Let's get back to what we all enjoy best, and that's called gaming. You know, put down the specs, stop talking about what you don't know what you're talking about, throwing around random figures like you tell me, oh yeah, it's got 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM. But you don't even know what GDDR5 RAM actually means. You don't know the difference between GDDR5 and just normal RAM. You don't know the difference. So, yo, stop complaining. Stop mouthing off what you don't know what you're talking about. And you know, start using your heads. Like, come on, we're all big people here. Just keep it real. Anyways, guys, I've enough mouthing off. It's your boy Shinigami S, aka Captain X. I'm signing out. And as always, my people, take care and peace.